We've seen local school districts open in the last few weeks across the state. Give us a sense of how things are going and what the biggest issues that districts are coming across at this point.
Well, I'm sure there are plenty of schools where it is going well, but I think there are lots and lots and lots of places where it is not. And lots of people are having a really, really, really hard time, especially families with special needs, families whose kids were behind academically for whatever reason, really need that extra support. The virtual school, I think about 60% of schools are offering some kind of in-person option, and a whole bunch of other schools are offering no in-person at all. And these kids are online and the connections are dropping and the audio is dropping out and the computers are losing their connections. And it's really hard to stay online. And then for kids who are going to school in person, there's that fear, you know, is there gonna be a case? I mean, so far in Michigan, I think we've only had maybe, 12 or, actually, I think the numbers are coming out. They've been updating them regularly, and the numbers are going to come up. And there's that fear. Is my child going to be exposed? For teachers, am I going to be exposed? Is my family going to get sick? So there's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of dissatisfaction with how online school is going for those who are taking the safer choice of staying home.
Chastity, this, of course, fits into a national context where we've seen lots of other states take different approaches than we are doing here in Michigan. Some of them are doing the same. New York is a place where schools recently opened, and you're sort of responding to that. Give us an idea of how we compare to everybody else.
Well, Stephen, it's like Erin was saying, all of those fears that parents and families and educators had coming into the fall are now just crushing down upon us. There, of course, how do you keep kids safe? How do you test for surveillance testing to make sure if someone gets it that they won't infect the class, and then the parents and community spread, and that, that whole avalanche. There's that fear, and that's everywhere. That's not just Michigan, it's everywhere. And of course, the issues with, can you log on? How do you log on? Is there going to be learning loss? We pretty much know that remote learning in the spring didn't work out very well. How's it going to work out in the future? I think right now we're still in the very beginning of school year. We haven't really gotten into teaching and learning yet because we're so really involved in keeping the pandemic at bay and getting kids online. New York City started school today for preschool. It's their third attempt at reopening, right? They've delayed it twice. Next week, you'll see your middle school and high school kids join in, and New York City is going to be sort of a beacon. If New York City can do it, everyone can do it. They have 1 million students, right? Think of it this way. Out of the 75 largest school districts in America, there's only a handful that are offering, in-person learning because it's all of the risks and, face it, the cost involved in that.
I think it's also worth noting that of the kids who don't have the option to go in person, they are significantly more likely to be low income. They're significantly more likely to be children of color. They're significantly more likely to be those children who most need the face-to-face, who most need the extra attention, and who are least likely to have the technology at home, the internet connection at home, a parent who's home to help them, or a caregiver who's home to help them. The kids who need to be in the classrooms most are the ones who aren't in the classrooms. Mm-hmm. And how that's going to look, states are all going to be required to give tests in the spring, high stakes tests. Yeah. And, I can't even begin to imagine what that's going to look like.
Yeah, that's what I want to sort of do in the last couple of minutes here is cast forward a bit. It seems like this is a change that is going to be with us for a while. The requirements to try to manage around the pandemic aren't going anywhere. And so I wonder if there are conversations taking place about additional kinds of changes that will be required to keep schools going.
Well, you've seen a lot of your larger school districts kick the can down the road. We'll decide later if we'll let the kids come back because they don't know how the community spread is going to look, especially when flu season starts, right? So there are all those issues that, like Erin said, testing is going to be a big deal. Standardized state tests. Already we know the ACT and the SAT are mostly out of the door at 2/3 of colleges. So what about standardized testing? If you don't have to take the ACT and the SAT mostly, why should you have to take a 3rd grade reading test remotely from your bedroom? How's that going to work out? So, and then we still don't know what's going to happen with the federal stimulus package. Is there going to be some relief for schools? Is it going to be enough? So right now, unfortunately, we're still in a wait and see in a lot of different states all over the country.
You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.